Update. LabTech pulled my number from my medical file. So some of you requested that I update my previous post if I ever heard back from the labs. Which I received a follow-up from HR. They said that they would be looking into this to 1. See if he pulled any more of my information 2. To see if he's done this in the past. They are considering just letting him off with a warning, but as of right now he's been suspended till further notice and will be receiving a HIPAA refresher course. They have also sent out a general message to their staff to never pull PE, personally identifying information, personal gain, and yes, that includes phone numbers. As for me, I won't be going out alone until this all passes over, and if it turns out that he did pull more than just my number, I will be contacting the local police department because that just isn't cool and I'd like to avoid having a stalker. I don't know how his company is going about finding out the previously mentioned information. I didn't ask. But I will be receiving another update at some point. I'll post the previous post's link for those who didn't get a chance to see it. Edit. For those on the previous post saying this isn't a HIPAA violation, it is PE is considered FI under HIPAA. PE personally identifying information. FI personal health information. Edit. I'm sure you're all wondering what kind of sexual comment he made, and I'm sure you all have an idea of what he said to me. For clarification, he only made one comment like that. And I can post it verbatim if y'all wish. But what I find even more repulsive about this is he thought it was funny to say something like that to a complete stranger. Sounds like they're trying to sweep this under the rug. This is actually a really serious situation and you might want to follow up with the proper authorities. Also consult a lawyer. Those electronic medical record systems often log every single interaction with your file. So, they can likely go in and see who has looked at your file, when, and which portions of your file that they saw. That should be straightforward enough. HIPAA violations can be extremely costly to an organization, but, IIRC, the fine goes to the government and not to the person whose data was breached. Willful violations can also constitute a criminal offense. Be a whistleblower for the HIPAA violation as well. Might as well make some money from this dumb lab tech. As someone who has previously worked in pathology, every time you access a patient file on the computer it is tracked. It may be more difficult for them to follow up if he is simply noting details off request forms. I wouldn't trust the company to do the right thing. That seems pretty light for his behavior. I think I would follow up with stronger words or a lawyer. You can report this HIPAA violation on your own, which I would do as the lab sounds like they're hedging. Caught my wife kissing our friend that's going through a divorce in our kitchen. So our friend came to visit us Friday night. We've been kinda close to him and his wife for about 4 years. They're going through a divorce now and he's having a really hard time. She's the one divorcing him. He's a very timid man, in some ways seems pathetic. We spent the majority of the night talking about his wife. He was almost crying at times. Talking about how he's in love with her. At some point he asked if we had some cigarettes or anything to light up. We didn't, but since I was having a hard time listening to him I offered to go get some. I whined to buy some alcohol anyway. There is a liquor store about 3 minutes from where we live. So even though I wasn't feeling great and really wet, disgusting snow was falling, I went. When I came back, as I was walking into our backyard I saw through the window the two of them. Her back was turned towards the kitchen window. He was near the cabinets. I couldn't tell if he was crying or laughing. Seemed like he was forcing a laugh through his crying. They were kinda looking at each other. My wife poked him with her finger. And he kissed her. She didn't back away, she let it happen. It was only for a second, but it felt longer to me. The back door leads straight into the kitchen and I could have walked in and caught them standing so close to each other. But I wanted to see what they would do, so I went back to the gate and opened it and slammed it hard so they could hear. They went back to the table immediately. I went inside, sat down. I was fighting my urge to get physically aggressive with either of them. I pretended that I didn't know what was going on at first but then confronted them. My wife said that I shouldn't make a big deal out of it. It was just a weird moment. He was sad, he's in love with his wife and heartbroken. I said he clearly must be since he's trying to fuck you. He then went on to apologize, started talking about how much he loves me. He tried staying longer and being friendly to make sure there's no bad blood, but I insisted he leaves. My wife later said how she didn't mean anything by it. He was sad and pathetic so she let him kiss her. I didn't feel like talking about it until I got my mind straight. We still haven't discussed it. We've been busy with our own things yesterday. What do you think about this whole situation? I don't know if this is relevant, but I'm 29, she's 28 and he's 33. No wonder this guy's getting divorced. If your wife has no remorse, then she's not protecting her boundaries and does not respect your feelings. Neither of them brought it up either and apologized to you until you brought it up. Clear disrespect right there. Can't be trusted. And #X200B. He was sad and pathetic, so she let him kiss her. That's nonsense. She should have been the better person, push him off and tell him that it was inappropriate. It's not her job to be his mommy when he's sad. If you hadn't seen it, she never would have told you. My guess is more than kissing had been going on, and it's more than this one time. No self-respecting wife allows another man to kiss her because he feels sad. My wife said that I shouldn't make a big deal out of it. And there you have the decider. No apology, no regret, just telling you that you are being overdramatic and making something of it. That friend and my wife ever talk to each other again, they'll regret it. He's lost his wife and now his friends too, or you lose your wife. Good thing that shop wasn't 20 minutes away. He's a snake, his wife isn't divorcing him for nothing. Follow suit and divorce your snake as well. They can slither off together, they deserve each other. I wonder if you kissed a female friend if she would think it not a big deal. She's not remorseful at all. She liked it and liked the thrill of it. That's the first step to cheating. Maybe this is the reason he's getting divorced. Could your wife have anything to do with that? Call his STBX and ask her about the divorce. Also tell her what you saw. Your wife is downplaying what you saw. Ask your wife to go stay with relatives or friends for the time being. This is a big deal. If you stayed a while longer, what would have happened then? Update. I'm marrying my fiance, but I still love my dead husband. This is an update to the original post. Thanks to everyone that gave me good advice. Lately I've been having some really tough days because for some reason I had my past husband in mind all the time, and I've been going from really sad to breaking down and crying and all type of thoughts, which is something that hasn't happened in years. Well, I, 33F, followed some of the advices and had a talk with my fiance, 31M, about it. He suggested that we should postpone the wedding and that I need to go back to therapy, and that's what we'll be doing. We've been together for 2 years now, and maybe waiting a little bit longer will be a good thing anyways. He thinks that besides the fact that the whole situation was hard enough for me, I might be traumatized because I was in the same car accident and nothing happened to me. Not even a scratch. But I was there and I saw everything happening, and I saw him dead. For a long time I wished it was me who died that day, and I really thought I had moved past those thoughts. I still feel like part of me certainly died that day. My fiancé said we don't need to rush things, he just wants me to be okay, and he will wait until I'm ready for it. I'm really thankful that he's very understanding. That's a huge part of the reason why I love him. For those who thought I was just using him, he understands me, he's patient, he's gentle, and he takes care of me. Thinking about this all day gave me an awful headache, but I'm just leaving this update here to thank everyone and to say that hopefully things will get better someday. I'm not usually that depressed or nostalgic, it's just been a really hard moment. As long as you don't lock yourself in the bedroom and masturbate to your old sex tapes with him. I don't think you're using your fiancé, but it doesn't sound like you're in love with him either. Loving someone and being in love with them are two different things, unfortunately. I think therapy is the right choice though to help you navigate all of this. He thinks that besides the fact that the whole situation was hard enough for me, I might be traumatized because I was in the same car accident and nothing happened to me. Not even a scratch. But I was there and I saw everything happening, and I saw him dead. For a long time I wished it was me who died that day, and I really thought I had moved past those thoughts. OMG. This is such an important factor. This is literally the definition of survivor's guilt. Good luck with everything. Dear, you have a good man by your side. I give you continued strength and tons of positive energy as you continue on in your healing. It is not easy, and by your update I see that you know that is not easy. But you are taking the steps by going back into therapy and all of that necessary to heal and then go on to marry your loving fiancé, and I'm sure that's what your late husband would want you to do to live your life and be happy. You're not in love, cut him loose and live your life. People are saying congrats, you've got a good fiancé, but I just feel sad for him. You don't really love him, you are just with him 'cause he listens to you and takes care of you and takes care of your kid, and you probably live together and lets you get away with whatever. I just feel so sad for him that loves this woman so much but she still loves her dead husband. So just let him go. It's his choice obviously if he wants to stay with you, but fuck. It sounds so bad that he's gotta go through this. He understands me, he's patient, he's gentle, and he takes care of me. Your late husband didn't have to be all that, yet you still would have given your own life instead of his. This is a lot more unfair to your fiancé than you think, and you are genuinely unable to see it. You are using him as an emotional crutch and are with him just because he loves you, not because you love him. You're selfish. I hope you just give him enough love he needs because he's giving you a lot. Fiancé, 26M, coming home with makeup on shirt and high when we're meant to be on a date? Hi. My, 25F, fiancé, 26M, came home yesterday at 5 p.m. from being out the night before, despite phoning me and telling me he'd be back at midnight. When he came back he was high as a kite and had makeup all over his white shirt. We had planned to put up the Christmas decorations and go for a meal, annual tradition, that day. I was so angry and upset that I put him to bed, then went through his phone. I know this was wrong of me, but this was the second time he has done something like this. I found messages to his friend buying snow off him for a previous night out, specifically behind my back. We all went to school together, so I know this friend as well. They were literally talking about if I would get suspicious, etc. I talked to him about it after a long sleepless night and he literally couldn't care less, just said, "I'm sorry I keep letting you down, I don't want to keep letting you down. I've packed some of his stuff up and he's at his mom's house now. What should I do?" When we parted ways he literally couldn't even tell me when I'd see him again. My head says get rid of him, but my heart loves him so much. We have a house and a dog, which complicates things even more. I have no one to talk to about this. If I talk to my family they will hate him, and we are meant to be getting married next year. I feel so alone and upset and embarrassed. He is dissing me behind my back and making a mockery of me. Thanks for reading and any help appreciated. P.S. We have been together for 5 years. He is dealing with some depression right now as well, which is extremely difficult to be around. Oh dear, red location flag alert. I think you know the answer here and are hoping for affirmation. I wish you well with your difficult but necessary decisions. Take care and happy Sunday. If he wanted you he'd fight for you. Just speaking as a man that has fucked up before. You show your girl you know it was wrong and try to put a plan together. If he has other issues you have to make him get help, or you need to leave for your mental health. This sucks. You have a home and a dog, but do you want to keep doing this when you're married? What makes you think he might change after that? He is lying and cheating and he isn't ever sorry in the slightest. If you let him stay, he will do it again and again. As a man, I hate when makeup gets on my white shirt. Not joking, it happens sometimes. Want to know how it happens? You are young, don't get stuck with this guy until you're 35. Please don't ignore the obvious signs and red flags that he's not life partner material. I know it's hard, but he's literally telling and showing you who he is and what you have in store for a future with him, so please love yourself more and make the hard decisions. Depression isn't an excuse for dishonesty and infidelity, and it'll only get worse. I'm so sorry you're going through this. You love who he was, what you had, and the potential that existed. You don't love who he is now. People change, and sometimes they grow apart. It sucks and it hurts. I'm sorry. You deserve better, and you know what you need to do to protect yourself. Tell your family so they can hold you somewhat accountable. He cheated on you. You need to get out of that relationship.